Hello, beautiful people. It's your girl Neyssa with XPansive Taste. Here we expand our realities to ultimate greatness and learn to receive the best out of life. So, today, I'm calling you out, okay? I'm calling you introverted people, you quiet people out because it's time to stop this procrastination, okay? We have allowed these platforms to be overtaken by some of the loudest people with the most dumbest, terrible ideas. And I've had enough of it. I'm tired of them getting the platform, getting all the attention, and I feel like it's time for us to stop being bystanders and actually make some positive impacts in this world. I know with the whole like bystander phenomenon, what happens is that we will see these problems like right in our faces in a group. Everyone will see that there is an issue, but no one really steps in because there's this assumption that someone else who's more qualified and more brave is going to do it. And we kind of like, dismiss ourselves from being that person for whatever reason. And there really is this expectation that we should just mind our own business and not try to be the hero. And all this did is it allowed people to get away with crimes, get away with bullying, get away with abusing their children. They get away with setting up systems that overtax and overcharge citizens, all because people are not speaking up enough. We're waiting for the brave hero to step in and save us when really that is you. You're the hero. And the longer you go not realizing that you're the hero, you're just making more space for the self serving, ill intended, evil, greedy, narcissistic people to make decisions on what our world is supposed to look like. So let's get into a little story time. Growing up, I did not really speak that much. I didn't speak to socialize or debate or voice my opinions. Even if I knew the answer to a question in class, I was not able to raise my hand and speak up. So I did know that I was smart, but I also sabotaged myself by getting myself to believe that I should only speak when spoken to or if I have something very important to say. I just felt like there's no point in speaking if it wasn't going to, like, I don't know, make some magic happen or whatever. But this became a problem because I realized that when I actually decided that I wanted to speak up on things, I did not have the skills to actually speak. I didn't realize that speaking was actually a skill that needed to be practiced. And so when I did end up talking to people, I found that I was stuttering a lot and I wasn't able to finish my sentences and I was losing track of my thoughts and I was taking long breaks in between my sentences and using many filler words. I sounded dumb. I sounded like I didn't know what I was talking about and that I didn't have the confidence in anything that I was actually saying. And I know in my head, when I'm thinking, the ideas are flowing. And when I'm writing, the ideas, the words, they just come out beautifully and they can explain anything. But I didn't actually have the skill of taking those thoughts in written words and putting it into my actual voice. So here's the thing, introverts. I know you're smart. You spend a lot of time observing people and their behaviors and their patterns and consequences. And because you're such a good listener, people share their secrets, their stories, their experiences with you. You know so much. And it's time. It's time to take yourself out of your mind, out of your isolation, out of your shell, and share what you know. A lot of the people with the loudest and greatest influence are just sharing very shallow ways of thinking. It's easier to share messages of selfishness, materialism, greed, and hate. And all these distractions, they're getting a ridiculous amount of attention. I believe there aren't enough conversations about morality, justice, and community, and that's where I want you to step in. There aren't enough messages on how to purify your hearts and be a kind, caring human. So, I'm not perfect, but I've been practicing. The way I've been able to work on this speaking skill is I did have to start with writing. I've always been someone who journaled, but I did have to get more into journaling and actually seeing my thoughts on paper in order to understand my role in society. But I also started songwriting, and songwriting has been so amazing. With songwriting, I'm able to take my own stories and consider my feelings in my words. And I actually began sharing it with people. I shared it with my friends, my family, and strangers on the internet. I did have to learn how to get rid of the fear of speaking and the fear of being heard and understand that I am worthy and my words do matter and they need to be shared. You know that whole saying that was like told to children where you're like, hey, only speak when you're spoken to? Let's cut that. Let's cut that, okay? You don't need to be asked to voice your thoughts and opinions. You are an adult. You can talk. You are a thoughtful individual with great insight, okay? You can talk. If you don't allow yourself to show up and be heard and be seen, how can you expect people to support you when you do have an idea that you want to run? How can you expect people to support the community outreach program you want to build? How can you expect people to care about the business you're building? If you have any solutions for common problems in this world, you have to be able to speak up so that people will actually listen to you and support your idea, support your project, support your solution, create this community where we can help each other. And in order to impact people in a very big way, you kind of need an audience. I don't want you to believe that you need an audience first to help people. I feel like the intention should be to help people anyway, and the audience will come to you. There's this kind of energy transfer where you have to already believe that what you're doing is going to help before you actually get to see, before you actually get to reap the results of your work. The audience isn't what makes you valuable, it's the value that you are bringing that attracts the audience. So even when I only had like 100 subscribers on YouTube, like 600 on Instagram, and 300 on TikTok, even though those numbers are considered pretty low, I still decided to publish a whole book. I self published a book to an audience that probably really wouldn't care to buy it. But that's okay because I already brought the value. I already brought this kind of information in a book where I felt like it could help someone. And the people who it's going to help, they're going to find it. I don't need to wait until I'm famous to help people and share my story. I can easily understand that my story is already valuable, and if it is only there to help 10 people at this moment, then that is okay. If you wait around for the 1 million supporters, you're gonna keep waiting forever. Your words matter now. Your vision matters now. Your story matters now. So, make it into something. Make it into something so that you can at least help a couple people. The couple people you help will turn into more people eventually, okay? This is how growth happens. And I know a lot of us, we just want to go viral because we see it happen so easily for a lot of other people, but that's not what we want for the long term. It's more healthy to develop all your different skills over time so that you can overall become unbreakable. So at this moment, I know that this book that I published just a couple months ago, I know that it was a major breakthrough because it allowed me to be so vulnerable and just share my story and, my overall message and not fear judgment. It's just out there. In this book, it includes some of the darkest things I've been through. And I feel like because I put this out there like so easily, so fast, like nothing can defeat me now. Like I already conquered my worst fear. And this channel has really helped me to develop my speaking skills. But I know that I still have a lot of work to do. And even with all this practice, I still do struggle with speaking fluently. And there have been moments where I would actually sit in front of my camera for 3 hours, just having to take constant breaks because of all the stuttering I'm doing and the blockages that's going on in my throat. I will be sitting in front of the camera for 3 hours, and when I edit my video, it's 15 minutes long. Like, why did it take me 3 hours to speak enough words to fill a 15-minute long video? It's a sickness. So I admire and I sing praises to the people who are able to speak so freely and fluently, and they don't have to heavily edit their videos like I do. And oh my goodness, I do admire the people who can just go on live and talk to their audience. And I admire the people who go on stage and they can talk a sermon, a speech for 2 hours straight. And all the teachers that are in their classrooms able to like go through an entire lesson and actually engage their students, that is an amazing skill. And I want to develop that. So I am practicing here with my amazing 400 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, I am practicing here for the time where I will be doing sermons and speeches and whatnot, to a wider audience later sometime in the future. But yeah, I encourage you to make your own channel, to create your own platform wherever you want to do that. Go ahead and start speaking up. We need to hear your voice. We need to hear your thoughts. We need to hear your solutions, your opinions. Yeah, all that. So, thank you. Thank you for making it to this point of the video. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. Goodbye, beautiful people. I send you my love. Mwah. Bisous.